about yourself and what you do as a financial planner, Randall?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Randall Boston. My company is Boston Integrity Financial Services and Insurance. And as a financial planner, I specifically work with a lot of business owners and self-employed people. Particularly, what I help them do is really define their goals and set a plan in motion, really, for them to accomplish those goals. Sometimes they don't know exactly what the right steps are they should be taking, and I help them figure out what those steps really need to be, so they're not just generally feeling okay, but they know exactly that they're doing the right things.
That sounds so needed and necessary.
So Michelle, tell me a little bit about what it is that you do as a personal trainer.
Yeah, I'm an online fitness coach. I work mostly with women, and I've had the privilege of working with women all around the world as clients. And I focus especially on making the key mindset shifts because I think a lot of people, try to make big changes in their life, but it doesn't last because they don't start from where you really need to make the changes, which is in your mind and in your daily habits. So I focus really on incorporating those daily habits for long-term results. I work with people who maybe have struggled with yo-yo dieting in the past or extreme workouts, just things that haven't worked long term, and they're looking for a permanent solution to feel better and look better and have a better quality of life. 'Cause that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's definitely amazing. I love the permanent solution aspect of it versus the temporary. Oh, I could go hard for the next 6 months, and then after that, I'm back to square one.
Yeah, yeah, I guess that's what I focus on, and it's really rewarding to see the long term changes my clients make.
What do you see as the purpose of this video today?
I think that it is so fascinating. Personally, I just think it's so fascinating to see the commonalities between finances and fitness. Most people care about, right, that there is like three big categories. People care about their health, they care about their jobs, they care about their relationships, and they care about money, right? Those are like big key areas. And it's really neat that two of those, I guess a lot of them, but two of those in specific, finances and fitness, can really have a lot of overlap and key principles that apply to both. So if you're good at one, you can apply those same principles to the other area and see success without even learning like a huge new set skill, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. Yeah, so for me, I really love to see similarities between that personal training and financial fitness as well. Because honestly, as I went through my own personal journey and I started to realize, well, these are the activities that I need to do day in, day out. The most important thing was that I realized, the good things that I did yesterday didn't really matter for the things that I needed to do today, right? I still needed to get the things today done. And
Mm,
at the same time, I was meeting with a client of mine who came to me because he had met with a personal trainer. And as he was meeting with that personal trainer, I started to see all the benefits, emotionally, physically, of just accomplishing all of these small goals that he had. He wanted to translate that directly over to his financial goals. And that's when it started to really click, that connection between the two for me. Because, people that are going to be on the right track and willing to commit to their personal training or fitness goals probably are the same type of people that are going to that are going to want to commit to their financial goals as well and deal with that discomfort. So I love
mm.
to see those similarities between the two. So Michelle, what does fitness really mean for you?
So, like the scientific definition, I guess, of between health and fitness, health is just, not having disease and being okay. Fit is could be defined as, I guess, being in optimal condition, whether that's you're working for speed or aesthetic reasons or a certain level of body fat. That's kind of fitness. But beyond that, I think that health and fitness really could be defined as having freedom in your life to do the things that you want to do, not being held back because you can't do certain things because of, your physical condition, having the energy to do the things that you love in life and that you really want to accomplish. So, kind of like a vehicle or a way to live your life fully and have that freedom. That's how I would define health ultimately. How about you? How would you define fitness?
Okay, yeah. So for me, with my military background, I'm gonna use the word preparedness. To be honest
Oh,
with you,
cool.
I feel like fitness has a lot to do with preparedness. When you think about somebody that's physically fit, and I'll relate this back over to financially fit. But for me, when I think about physically fit, I'm kind of saying that that person, if we're going to go on a hike or we're going to do something that's physically challenging, they're probably a little bit more prepared for it than somebody that's not physically fit. And when
Mhm.
we think about finances, it's the same thing. If someone, I think I saw a article when the pandemic first started where they were saying that Americans generally don't have $500 in savings to cover an emergency, right? Like that's a lack of financial fitness from that regard, right? The slightest thing that goes wrong, if you're a car owner or a homeowner, and anything breaks in the house, breaks on the car, $500 is probably going to be the least of your worries. That's going to be a small repair. In many cases, especially with a home, it might be a larger repair than that. So, physical financial fitness for me really means being prepared for the unexpected things that might happen, as well as being prepared for some of the long-term goals. If you've set a long-term goal, I want to buy a house, the more prepared you are for that, then the more financially fit I would say you would be.
So, yeah, being prepared to take on anything that comes your way,
For sure, yeah.
basically. That's such a good definition. I like that.
Do you find that someone being physically fit helps them with their financial fitness?
Yes. One emotional, I guess, key area is when you're fit in your body, you feel more confident and you feel, I think, in some ways more powerful and deserving. So if you're taking care of yourself, you realize like, hey, like my body is good and I feel confident in it, which can translate into I want to do better in my life in general, right? And so I want to
Yeah.
be better with my finances. But I also think that a lot of the same principles apply. So if you want to be physically fit, there are certain key things that I think can help with your finances as well. So if you could translate those principles, like number one, you need a goal. Like where are you moving towards? Number two, you need a why for that goal because otherwise you're gonna give up when it gets hard. You need discipline in keeping your goals above immediate pleasure. Like with finances, like you're like, oh, I need to save, so I'm not gonna buy this frivolous thing at the store, right? And then number four, you need structure and a plan. Like you need to know what you're doing and why. How
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
yeah? How about
Absolutely. And
you?
I'll add, to add to that even, oh, I apologize.
No, go ahead. Add to it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I'll add to that. So, when it comes to financial fitness, I think one regard that the physical fitness aspect helps out with is really that stress management as well. Me
Mm,
personally, I found that a lot of clients they get into financial issues like maybe too much debt on their credit cards or sometimes even ignoring bills just because their stress level is so high that they don't even want to deal with it. They get that letter in the mail or they get whatever email that they need to be taken care of, and they don't even have the strength to actually like take care of it, or the emotional
yeah.
capacity to take care of it. So I think that, being physically fit probably helps in that regard, just that stress management aspect.
I love that. That's such a good, yeah, that's such a good point. Do you see, someone being physically fit helping with their finances? Like, what is your take on that as a financial planner?
Yeah, for sure. Same thing. It's just that managing of the emotions largely, but what I'll say is going back to the structure of it as well, right?
Hmm.
So, I'm using the example of push-ups here, right? But if you need to do so many push-ups every single day or every single week, right? Or you need to do these particular exercises on these days, and you could build a discipline to actually commit to that routine. To me, it means that you have the ability to commit to other routines as well, including the financial ones. Because in many cases, accomplishing financial goals just go back down to those routines and habits that you need to build, and sticking to it, even when sometimes you don't want to. So, somebody that's able to get up and maybe go for a run when it's not so pleasant outside or when they're not really feeling good, that's probably the person that could, hold themselves to the budget or continue to save even when it feels like, oh man, I really would rather be going on this vacation or doing what my friends are doing. They still stick to that routine and save and do the things that they need to do.
Yeah, it comes down to kind of taking responsibility for your own life and your own choices and your own results.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Taking responsibility for sure. Definitely. So, Michelle, how important is it to plan ahead versus practicing daily habits?
So plans are key, right? But if we don't implement them in the now, then they're useless. So I think it's important to know what you're shooting for, what your goal is, and then to work backwards from there. Like what are the things that someone who has this goal does? Like you could even think of it outside of yourself. Okay, someone who reaches this goal, what do they do in their daily lives, and how can I apply that to my own life? So turning basically, like you said, it kind of can go on autopilot. Like you set the goal, you work back from practices and skills, and then and then actions, daily actions, and then you decide, okay, what are the daily habits? How much do I need to do every day? And just put that in your schedule. Like make it happen every single day,
Sure.
and then from there you can focus. Maybe check your progress once in a while to see if you're along the lines towards your goal, and you can pivot if you need to. But basically, that's what you need to focus on, those daily goals. And it's kind
Absolutely.
of simple in that way. Like, oh, okay, as long as I'm doing this for now, each day, I know it's going to take me to where I want to go.
Yeah, definitely. And in that case, basically, the plan is nothing without the daily habits. And it's important to know what the plan is to build the daily habits as well, right?
Yeah. Would you say it's any different in finances, like the planning ahead
No,
versus the daily
I
habits?
feel like it's the exact same thing. The two of those things have to align, right? And I think honestly, that's where our jobs come in, right? Because in many cases, some people have the long-term goals, so they're trying to plan ahead for something, and they're trying to figure out what the daily habits need to be. Like, what should they be doing this year to accomplish the thing that they want to accomplish 5 years from now? And then for other people, they might be doing things, right? They might be making decisions every month or every quarter or every year that they believe are really good, and then doubt seeps in, right? And they're like, well, is are these things actually enough for me to accomplish that thing? Are they enough for me to be able to retire? Am I saving enough? Are my investments performing well enough? So it's super important that those two things align, right, at all times. And the more frequently they align and the better they align, then the more successful you'll become in accomplishing that long term goal. But I think that's sometimes where maybe we come in, even in the fitness world as well, because I could definitely see how people could get lost, especially with all the information available to them. And they start trying to follow other people's advice, and they're not taking into consideration how that advice really is meant for another goal, maybe not their
Yeah.
particular goal or their unique situation. So it's cool to have someone like you that could help bring the two things together to make sure that they're on point with what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that makes sense.